Well, hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Ferrari King. Please make sure you subscribe and, of course, watch my other videos too. But as a lot of people know, there's a Women's March on DC, a year anniversary of Trump being in office. They're, you know, doing what they're doing. A lot of it, some of it I can respect. Sexual harassment and stuff going on in Hollywood and in Congress. Well, and in government. And let's face facts, though. It happens in both Hollywood and in the government. The only thing that's annoying is that when you see people talking about this, you'll have people on the right, they only focus on what's going on in Hollywood. People on the left seem to want to focus on what's going on in Washington. And of course, they're complaining, of course, about thinking that Trump's taking away their rights, which of course they're not. I do suggest you watch some of these videos. They're actually pretty interesting. And people should be speaking out against sexual assault and everything and sexual harassment. My problem is that it appears, at the very least, it appears as if they're saying that only women are. It seems like only women are the ones that are getting a voice. What about men that are sexually harassed? Men get harassed too. Even, when you're as ugly as this, you can get it. Let's face it, they pinch your rear end. They basically walk directly in front of you with their chest against your chest. They have a huge amount of room to do this, but you get a woman walk right. Like, why do you have to do that? Or you're bagging groceries and they have to be like hip to hip to you. Of course, some of the things they consider harassment kind of makes you want to laugh a little bit. And if you're going to leave comments or anything, please be civil about it. But anyways, like for example, telling someone, you have a nice shirt. Well, how many men hear women tell them, well, you have a nice shirt. I like your hair. I like this. I like that. Or they'll call you honey, sweetie, dear, and even love and all this other stuff. Of course, if you say any of that back to women, then you can get in some trouble. And if you complain, you can be called a misogynist. It makes no real sense, but that happens, And, and I'll talk about some experiences I've had, For example, of being, you deal with women and you're minding your own business. And I'm sure you women deal with the same stuff, Guys, staring at you and stuff like that. Or guys think that you're supposed to respond to them when you don't have to. You have to go out with them and you don't have to. And then I'll go back to talking about that DC March. For example, a while back, a student needed help, so I'm walking up to him to help him. And then I hear a female student outside, "Where's he looking at?" Thinking I'm looking at her. Like, what the hell? And I'm sure most of you guys can attest to this. You get that a decent amount of time from females, especially if you look like this. They automatically assume you're interested in them or looking at them when you don't even notice them. I've taken classes, when I was in school. You have females sitting behind you and they're complaining that you're staring at them and stuff. Yeah, I'm doing this and I want to do like this the whole time where everybody in the class is going to see. And of course, the teacher or the professor is going to be female most of the time, so they'll take their side. Obviously, they will. And then, of course, if you go to church, I used to go to church. I've been a long time. I remember, I used to sit in the same seat in the morning service and the afternoon service. After about several months, I noticed this one lady start sitting where I was sitting. What she would do with her friend, of course, they would sit hip to hip, like real close hip to hip, so they can be as far away from me as possible. And this particular bench that we were at was about 1.5 times the length of your typical couch. And then she would put out a bunch of books and stuff like that, rest of the bench, so I couldn't get near her, like as if I would want to. I mean, there was nothing wrong with how she looked. It's just I just wasn't that type of person. But anyways, I deal with that. You walk out the church and the women wanting to look at you, and I do that way everywhere. They, you're walking out, you open the door for them, and then and they open the door for another guy as you're coming, and they slam the door in your face because they're not going to open the door for you at all. And I was jogging and I see some of these same women from the church. One of them was the daughter of our pastor. They hand out these gospel tracts, and this is after I became an atheist, so I didn't really want a gospel tract anyways. But anyways, as I'm doing it, she's handing out. As soon as she saw me, she didn't know who I was because she never actually seen me in church. But as soon as she saw me, and she kind of get like a disgusted look and just took it back. Okay, what if your God actually existed and I was a sinner going to hell? I'm now going to hell because of your hate. I remember one of the funniest I want to say is this is absolutely hilarious to me this is. And I've had it happen more than once, but not to this extent. I'm in high school. During lunchtime, I eat my lunch. After I'm done with and I always sit by myself. I never, because I'm a geek. But anyways, I would then walk back and forth outside the cafeteria, drink water, just walk around, the food digest and everything, waiting for the class because I have a hard time sitting still. Well, apparently, because I'm on the second floor of the school, apparently on the first floor, there was a woman a female student eating her lunch. Somehow she got in her little brain that I was interested in her. Sometimes when I would walk by, I could hear her make, certain comments. There he is, there he is, there he is, and all that stuff. I could hear that. I mainly just ignored it, didn't care. I was only like 16, I was 16 at the time, and I just ignored it. Apparently, when I was going to my chemistry class, so yeah, I was 16, maybe 15, but it doesn't matter. But I'm going to my chemistry class. I'm heading to my chemistry class, and apparently I'm walking past her locker. She immediately steps in front of me, and which way? I just go around and just keep walking away. But as she steps in front of me, she's like, I'm not interested in you. Stop coming this way. Stop, blah, 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 blah. But she didn't go on too long after that because, her entire spiel only lasted like 5-6 seconds because I walked right past her and acted like she didn't even exist. I didn't even look at her. But if you're a guy, you'll deal with that from females. They automatically assume you want them. And women, come on. You do have men act like you're supposed to date them. They get upset with you and insult you for not accepting, Remember, guys have to do the asking out, but that does not give guys permission to insult you because you say no. You have a right to say no. Now, back to this women's march. Again, I listen to Natalie Portman and all these others. They're talking. Now, let's. I want to say this: the more serious the crime, the more evidence you need. And let's face facts. If you work, you know how gossip works. Okay, when one person says that person did this, this, and this, it's not hard for them to find people to agree with them, even if what they're accusing this person of is untrue. Because, there's the bandwagon effect and all this other stuff. People just want to belong to the group, and they want to do this. Especially if it's like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you're bringing things up the person may have done. People might think, every little thing and make it bigger, misremember things. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying, evidence. You need to have evidence. You can accuse anyone of anything. You want to destroy a person's career and their lives over something that you can't prove? I mean, they can't prove it. I can understand why they did not say things immediately, when it happened. I understand that. I get it. These people, mainly men, unfortunately, in Hollywood, had a lot of power. And I know a lot of people say, well, they could go to the police, they could go to the cops. Well, these people have so much power that I can guarantee you the cops aren't going to do any type of investigation. Okay? They are not. The police do what they're told, what their masters tell them. I know people don't like that to hear that, but it is true. Look up certain laws and certain rulings, about whether or not the police have to protect you. Just look that up. It's just real easy to, say, well, they should have said it then, And Hollywood, and government is the same way. A lot of power, they can just do what they want. They can make people disappear. I mean, not disappear, but their accusations disappear. But they can make them disappear too. Not literally like you can't find them. I mean, they're no longer in Hollywood or government or whatever. But you need evidence, though. You still have to have evidence. Provide evidence. If you're accused of something, don't you want people to be able to prove that you're guilty, or do you want them just automatically say, hey, you're guilty? You know, I listen to Natalie Portman. I listen to uh, the Black Widow lady played the Black Widow. I can't remember her name. And all that. I personally, I can hardly remember a lot of these celebrities. They all kind of look alike to me. I mean, to me, they kind of do, because I'm not as into celebrities as some people are. You know, some of them kind of look alike to me. They complain about some Franco guy. I have no clue who that is. I forgot. No, he's like that. Was in Spider-Man. But, you know, it's not important to me who they are. They're not any better than you are. But, you know, then these women are complaining about immigration, you know, Trump's immigration policies. Okay, let's get this straight. There's a difference between legal and illegal immigration. Trump is cracking down on illegal immigration, not legal immigration. There's a huge difference. And the only people that suffer from illegal immigration are the poor. That's why they don't care. That's why these other people don't care. Because it's mainly the poor people that are suffering. They're suffering because lower wages and making it harder for them to find a job. And then, of course, they have to live around these illegals that are getting everything for free. So, you know, they not going to be clean, and they're not going to be quiet. They're going to be loud and dirty and nasty. Not all of them, of course, but that's generally how it's going to be if they're getting here clean. So, you know, I thought it was interesting. You need to watch those videos on the Women's March. I don't know really what they're protesting against, because they claim they have less rights than men, but really they have more rights. Let's face facts. Women can yell and get in a man's face and yell and scream at him, and the guy can't do nothing in return. And if a guy did that to another guy, that'd be, you know, a nice quick punch to the face. I mean, I know how that sounds, but it is true. If a guy act like a woman to another guy, he's getting his butt kicked. And let's face it, other women would see that guy as an a-hole, as a jerk. Most people would. Think about that when you get in somebody's face, yelling and screaming and, you know, saying nasty things, leaving nasty comments and stuff like that. Think about that. So women have more rights. And then, of course, in divorce, we know they have a whole lot more rights, because they can take all your stuff, all your money and everything. And, you know, I think I rambled on long enough. There's a whole lot more I could add, but why? Yeah, I'm sure no one's watching at this point anyways. But anyways, feel free to subscribe and watch my other videos. Thanks.